On the morning of March 14, 1853, the entire social order of Southside Virginia shattered with a single discovery. 23-year-old Catherine Dunmore, eldest daughter of one of the region's wealthiest tobacco planters, had vanished from her bedroom sometime during the night. With her disappeared Samuel, a 26-year-old enslaved man, valued in her father's ledgers at $1,200. But what terrified the community wasn't simply the flight itself. It was what searchers found hidden beneath loose floorboards in Catherine's chamber. 47 letters written in Samuel's hand, detailing not an abduction, but a meticulously planned escape that had been orchestrated for over 18 months. The implications were unspeakable. Authorities buried the evidence immediately, and for 170 years, the true story of what happened remained sealed in courthouse records, too scandalous to acknowledge. Until now. Before we continue with the story of Catherine Dunmore and the impossible choice that would destroy 2 families and reshape an entire county's understanding of loyalty, betrayal, and the terrible price of forbidden connection, I need you to do something. Subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss stories like this one. And I'm curious, where are you listening from right now? Drop your city or state in the comments below. Now let's discover what really happened in the spring of 1853, when the unthinkable became reality. The letters would tell only part of the story. The rest would emerge in testimonies given under duress, in whispered confessions, and in the horrifying discovery made 6 months later in a cabin 30 miles north of the Mason-Dixon line. Dunmore Hall stood 3 miles outside the town of Boydton, Virginia, a 2-story brick manor house that commanded views of rolling tobacco fields stretching toward the North Carolina border. The estate encompassed nearly 800 acres, worked by 53 enslaved people who lived in weathered cabins arranged in neat rows beyond the main house. Colonel James Dunmore, a widower since 1847, ran his plantation with military precision learned during his brief service in the Mexican War. His reputation throughout Mecklenburg County was unimpeachable. A church elder, a Mason, a man who paid his debts and kept his word. Catherine had been raised in this world of rigid certainty. After her mother's death from fever when Catherine was 17, she had assumed management of the household, overseeing the kitchen, the dairy, the gardens, and the domestic staff. She was known throughout the county as a capable, if somewhat reserved, young woman. She had refused 3 marriage proposals by the time she reached 21, a fact that caused considerable speculation among neighboring families. Her father indulged her independence, perhaps because she managed his household so efficiently, perhaps because he still mourned his wife and could not bear to send his daughter away. Samuel had come to Dunmore Hall in 1849, purchased from an estate sale in Richmond. His previous owner, a schoolmaster, had taught him to read and write before dying suddenly, leaving debts that forced his widow to sell her late husband's property. Colonel Dunmore bought Samuel specifically for his literacy, intending to use him as a clerk to manage plantation records and correspondence. It was unusual, even controversial, to have a literate enslaved person, but Colonel Dunmore believed in efficiency over tradition. For 2 years, Samuel worked in the small office attached to the main house, maintaining ledgers, copying letters, and managing the mundane paperwork of tobacco cultivation. He was quiet, meticulous, and careful never to presume beyond his assigned duties. He ate his meals alone, lived in a small room off the office rather than in the slave quarters, and kept himself apart from the other enslaved workers. Some resented his privileges, others simply ignored him. He existed in a strange, liminal space, too educated for field work, too enslaved for freedom. The Virginia of 1853 operated under rules as immutable as natural law. White and black occupied separate worlds, separated by laws that prescribed every interaction, every boundary, every consequence for transgression. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 had made the North less safe for runaways, with federal commissioners authorized to force the return of escaped slaves and punish anyone who aided them.